¿A dónde está papi? 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 ¿A dónde está papi?
Sorry about that. Welcome to the Monday stream. I hope everyone's having an awesome Monday morning. How's it going, everybody? Sorry about that delay. We are getting ourselves just situated. It has been quite the weekend, and not gonna lie. Ooh. So I went over to my parents' house again. If you guys were here for Saturday Catterday, I was, not at my usual setup, and that's because I was at my parents' house. So I'm pretty convinced at this point that like mango trees are just a no-no for me. The allergies have just been unrelenting, especially yesterday. No, not the fruit, the pollen. The pollen from the flowers. Yeah, I need antihistamine. The problem with the antihistamines is that they make you incredibly drowsy, so that's I only take them at night. There are some allergy medicines that are not supposed to be drowsy, that don't have like very drowsing, I guess would be the word, effects, but they don't really do it for me. I've never seen a mango tree. What? Maybe I need to post a picture of that on the Discord. The only real mango tree I've seen was indoors. What? Indoors? I usually go for Allegra during the day. Damn. That's a good... Hmm. That's a good point. There are allergy cures that use insensitive people that give you very small doses and ramp up. Yes, that's true. There are ways that you can, how do I say, accustom yourself to the allergies. But yeah, that one was pretty severe. I think I have tried Allegra. I don't remember. I don't remember at all. Allegra D has pseudoephedrine in it, so it's a bit of a boost. Gotcha. We have trouble with grass and tree pollen over here. The big thing for me is pollen. Apparently. I mean, I've always had allergies, even as a young kid. How's it going, Maya? Even as a young kid. Most of my allergies have subsided, but some have just been persistent, you know? Your allergies are a survival trait? I have no idea what that means. Like, it's an adverse reaction on purpose? I don't know. But you can get used to allergies sometimes, depending on which ones. Some can be incredibly life-threatening, but mine are not. Mine are just annoying. My allergies have been awful since I moved to New York City. Apparently almost none of the plants in the city are native. Wow. That's sad. I keep having ospreys fly over my house? What? Well, I've never seen an osprey for real. In real life. Oh, wait, osprey like the bird or osprey like the military plane? I should have clarified that. Oh, it shakes the house? Okay, so it's the military plane. Okay. No, we're not going to war. I don't... Well, okay, let me rephrase that. As far as I understand it, if we do, it will be because... It will be because Russia touches NATO territory. That would be the reason. Some people have reactions to cat fur. Yes, I had quite a bit of an allergy bout when I first got Paquita. I think I had like a couple of days of sneezing. But I got used to it, so maybe that allergy isn't as bad, but the pollen one is just horrendous. Specifically the mango pollen. Because right now my parents' mango tree is in bloom, and still in bloom, and it has been horrifying. So I'm going to assume that one is really severe for me. well, more severe, I guess I should say. I looked it up to see how much pollution they cause, and apparently the ospreys that the US owns are not kept up with and crash a lot. Yeah, well, there was a accident that happened not too long ago during a NATO training exercise. There was a accident not too long ago during a NATO exercise, which also it begs the question then, wait a minute. If that's true, apparently if the ospreys that the US owns are not being kept up with and crash a lot, then explain to me where the hundreds of billions of dollars are going then. Don't go there during flowering season? Yeah, I didn't really have much of a choice. But yeah, that's that was rough. Hey, Buff Dragon. In Norway, it's 4 soldiers. four U.S. soldiers died. That was like 2 days ago. Thank you. Okay, perfect. That's what I'm referring to. They are dysfunctional and the design is trash. Then where the heck is all these hundreds of billions of dollars are going to, anyways? Because if that's true, then that begs the question, right? Yeah, not healthcare, that's for sure. Not healthcare, not even a properly equipped or kept up military? What? So then where is it going to? If we don't really have much to show for that hundreds of billions of dollars. It's just gone. I mean, where is it? Why aren't like all these fiscally conservative folks raising up a storm? Raising up a storm. If we have dysfunctional and not kept up military equipment that can cause deaths because of accidents, then where the heck is all that? We don't even have a properly kept up. We don't even have properly kept up planes to show for it, right? Because at least you would imagine that if you spent all this hundreds of billions of dollars, you would have like a pristine, perfect, well, it's perfect as it can be, military. But no, we don't even have that, apparently. Lockheed Martin, yeah, they just like toss like hundreds of millions of dollars to these folks to make dysfunctional equipment anyways. Yes, maybe that's it. Maybe we need another defense consultant. Yeah. That's what it is. Hey Elio, how's it going? That is what we need. Why do we need a helicopter plane? Well, because it can take off and land vertically, right? That's the whole gimmick of it. For is it for aircraft carriers? The whole gimmick was the ability to be able to take off vertically. And those Ospreys would be useless against ground-to-air missiles? I have no idea. I have no idea. Maybe. Oh, if they're slow AF, then yeah, I would imagine. I would imagine they would be susceptible to something like that. I have no idea. I'm not a military expert. But the gimmick is that they're able to take off and land vertically. And that's it. That's it. Oh, because this is a transport aircraft. Yeah, this is just like a support craft. I don't know if this is like meant to be like a fighter craft. The Harrier jump jet did that too. They're using it as a gun platform. Ah. Well, I will say this. At least the long weekend was definitely a necessary reprieve, but I felt like it was not long enough. I felt like it was not long enough. All right, folks, we gotta get going over here. We usually invite people without the ability to shoot aircraft down. Yeah, but we're supposed to be able to uh wage conventional fights too, supposedly. If not, I ask again, if that's not even the capabilities of the military, then I ask again, where the heck is these hundreds of billions of dollars going to? It's just a two-rotor Huey Cobra. I have no idea what a Huey Cobra is. Is that another helicopter? Or an engine? Maybe. Oh, it's a Vietnam. Gotcha. There have been 13 Osprey crashes since 91, so 30 years? Okay. I don't know, statistically, is that a bad thing or a good thing? How many helicopter crashes has the military had in comparison with other craft? I don't know. Kicking things off. West Virginia legislature who stormed the Capitol pleads guilty. Derek Evans, who filmed himself on January 6th screaming Wow, imagine Imagine screaming your name as you participate in this insurrection. Imagine screaming your name knowing that you're also a state legislature as well. Jesus. Derek Evans, who filmed himself on January 6th screaming Derek Evans is in the Capitol, is set to be sentenced on June. They're just not sending their best, folks. A former West Virginia Republican lawmaker has pleaded guilty to a felony charge after he stormed the Capitol on January 6th. Derek Evans was charged and arrested just 2 days after he joined the rioters who attacked the Capitol during a joint session of Congress to disrupt the counting of the electoral votes, formalizing Joe Biden's win. I was wrong. It's the 13 whole losses accident. I don't know what that is. Me neither. You got me. Oh no, they're not getting written up. They're going to jail. He resigned from his seat representing the state's 19th House district within a week of the attack before indicating that he would take a plea deal in February. Evans, 36, pleaded guilty on Friday to one felony count of civil disorder, admitting that he attempted to commit an act to obstruct, impede, or interfere with law enforcement officers engaged in the performance of their duties during a civil disorder. And Judge Royce Lamberth of the U.S. District Court for the District of Columbia accepted Evans' guilty plea. His sentencing is set for June 22. Under a superseding indictment returned by a federal grand jury last year, Evans had faced 5 counts, including a felony charge of obstruction of an official proceeding. I can't remember his name, but wasn't there a leftist who also posted leftists should also have guns or something shortly after January 6th and got way more jail time than any of these people? I'm not sure about that, but, geez. Before he stormed the Capitol, Evans posted a meme that said "Fight for Trump" online, asking his Facebook friends if they were heading to DC. He also posted another meme. They're just memes, folks. Saying that day would be wild. Hey! That's interesting. That's a very interesting choice of words. That is a very interesting choice of words. You know who else said to be wild on January 6th? Do you know who else said that they should be wild on January 6th? Because I know. That's right, Trump. That's right, literally verbatim. That was one of his last tweets, one of his last posts on Twitter, is to be wild. Tell me again how this guy has nothing to do with anything. Oh, send that to me via Whispers, Maya. Didn't he say something like, "Be there, it's going to be wild"? He said to get wild or something like that. I watched it and thought the world was ending. No, the world isn't going to end because of that. What? Oh man, this is a good meme. We'll get into this in a second. Well, to be fair, Lindsey Graham should be mocked. But for other things. How many is he going to... Well, no, this is a bit no, this is not... No. So he will face considerably more prison time than most January 6th defendants. That's true. That is true, because most of these folks are being charged with like trespassing, and I think that I think that they're going to serve like not as much for sure, but including those who cross state lines with small arsenals in tow with the aim of overturning a president. No, those guys are being charged with heavy crimes like sedition. These are not the same. These are not the same. So that's that's a bit of a conflation there. That's not the same at all. There's some folks who are facing severe prison time, up to 20 years in prison. These are the folks like the Oath Keepers, and I forget what other far-right militia was there too. But those folks who are facing like seditious charges, who had plans and stashed ammunition caches and had already coordinated with other folks to deploy rapid response forces should things get violent, according to these Oath Keepers. Those folks are getting serious prison time. Not the same as those who are getting charged with like trespassing. No, these are not the same. But yes, it is kind of it is kind of messed up that someone who didn't technically threaten anybody is spending more time in prison than the folks who were than most of the folks who were actually there. And that's the messed up part. So a dude who posted stuff and gets roped for what, 44 months? Was there like a legitimate threat that this guy was making? It doesn't seem like he was. According to this guy was nowhere near a government building, nor did he bring weapons near a government building. That's kind of messed up. That, shouldn't like the 2A people be like, yo, this is this is incredible government overreach. Yeah, he made no specific threat. Correct. Like if you're posting that, oh, I want the ability to defend myself, that's not a threat. That's not a threat. Yeah, weird. Weird, I didn't see any posts about this one at all. Actually, I didn't see any post about this. And this was in October of last year. And this was in October. That's, of course, Florida. Yeah, weird, isn't it? No previous criminal conviction. Really makes you wonder, huh? Really makes you wonder. Yeah, his prosecution was pretty quick. I suspect there's reasons for that. So I think that the article, the way it was written, really should say, because we want to make sure we got our stuff, right and specific. It should say, Baker will nonetheless face more prison time than most January 6th defendants, and facing prison time comparable to those who crossed state lines with arsenals in tow, who coordinated and acted in a seditious manner, who have had priors, who are clearly violent organizations, while this guy doesn't even have a record. That probably would have been more effective, because this is just not true. This is just not true. Oh, okay, wait. Yeah, okay, I understand. I think the seditious conspiracy was afterwards. Okay, maybe now, in hindsight, I think you're right, actually, because this was back in October. I didn't realize that. Hey, Mayhem Hippie, how's it going? They shot a black mother 30 times for a U-turn. What? Yikes, was that recent? Jesus. Then I will say they kind of jumped the gun with this statement instead of waiting. They kind of jumped the gun. They could have just said, they could have just left it at that, while also making the point that they have no priors. So yeah, it sounds like, well, according to this article, that the 2A seems to only apply for people that they like. Morning. Before he stormed the Capitol, Evan posted a meme that said "Fight for Trump." Oh yes, we went over this. He also posted another meme saying that the day would be wild. Evans shared a photo of him that showed individuals on a charter bus heading to D.C. Evans recorded himself with the mob on January 6th, even narrating the event in third person. We're in Devon. Derek Evans is in the Capitol. I mean, this guy literally shouting his own name, literally documenting the entirety of his crimes while shouting his name. After January 6th, he attempted to claim that he was there as an independent member of the media to film history. Okay, buddy. Okay, buddy. That was the best part? Yeah. Well, no one ever said they were smart. More than 775 people have been charged in connection with the January 6th attack on the Capitol. More than 225 have pleaded guilty. Over 50 have been sentenced to periods of incarceration. The total number of suspects who either unlawfully entered the Capitol building or assaulted law enforcement and members of the media outside the building tops 2,500. Jesus. And the FBI has hundreds of more cases in the works. Yeah, they all recorded themselves, and this guy just said his full name. Yeah. I'm not your buddy, pal. I'm not your pal, guy. Wait, was it? I'm not your pal, friend. I'm not your friend, guy. I forget the meme. Alright, so meme article. Former President Trump mocked Lindsey Graham at an event in Mar-a-Lago. Trump called Graham a progressive senator from South Carolina in a speech on Friday. What? Lindsey Graham? Lindsey Graham is going to support progressive progressive platforms like universal healthcare. What? Congratulations to Lindsey Graham for being called a progressive senator. He's a progressive, but he's our progressive. What? I'm starting to think that he doesn't understand what these words mean. I'm starting to think he just doesn't know what progressive means. And, well, he understands that it could be used, it's like a pejorative? Pejorative. I think that's the word. He thinks that is a pejorative, and therefore is trying to kind of take a shot at him. I'm most excited to see the results of the congressional subpoenas of financial documents related to January 6th organizers. Oof. We'll definitely be doing updates as we get more information. We report on the articles that come out. Former President Trump mocked Lindsey Graham during the speech at a fundraiser dinner, calling him a progressive. Wait, at a fundraising dinner, okay. And there are a couple of senators, and we have our progressive senator from South Carolina, Lindsey Graham. Nice. Said Friday at the Lincoln Day fundraising dinner held by the Palm Beach County GOP at Trump's Mar-a-Lago resort. He's a progressive, but he's our progressive. Trump's mocking of Graham came a day after the news broke that Graham might have threatened to seek to invoke the 25th Amendment to remove Trump from office during the... Oh, I see. Oh, okay, I see. So, because he went... He had an inkling to maybe realize that this guy is just too much. This guy is just too much of a threat, especially to our democracy. So we need to consider the fact of invoking the 25th Amendment to remove him, which would have been the correct move. So that qualifies you as a progressive. Huh. Wow. That's fascinating. I never knew that. I never knew that all you needed to do to be branded as as a progressive is to come to the realization that this guy is just too dangerous and needs to be removed from office. Damn. This was according to excerpts Axios published from This Will Not Pass, a new book by New York Times reporter Jonathan Martin and Alexander Burns. Martin and Burns wrote that Graham made a furious call to the White House counsel, Pat Cipollone, and during the riot where he made that threat. I mean, like, we do know for a fact that there were several, senators, GOP senators, including Lindsey Graham, who were absolutely furious and were making several angry phone calls. We do know that those things happened. I don't know what Lindsey Graham actually believes because he's such a grifter. Remember when he called Trump? Oh yeah, he doesn't believe in anything other than power. Graham has broken with Trump on several issues in recent months. In January, Palio with the 7 biddies. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Thank you. Graham has broken with Trump on several issues in recent months. In January, he criticized Trump for floating the possibility of pardons for Capitol riots, calling Trump's idea inappropriate. What? That's it? Oh, yeah, that's whew. This prompted Trump to call Graham a rhino, a GOP insult. Yeah, it's just a pejorative for people that don't follow me to the T. Graham, however, is known as a staunch Trump ally. True, and took credit in January for talking Trump out of holding a press conference on the first anniversary. Like, this isn't something to be proud of. Okay. Graham also continued to voice his public support for Trump this year, even saying in January that he would not back Mitch McConnell for Senate GOP leader unless McConnell has a working relationship with Trump. Okay. This just tells me that these people don't believe in anything other than power. No backbone whatsoever. No backbone. Well, that was a good meme. Good job, progressive senator. Progressive senator from South Carolina. Phantom, thank you for the follow. I appreciate that. the Reagan Trump cartoon rap covers this on YouTube. Interesting. Sorry about that, folks. I'm dead today, all right? Union workers at Chevron refinery prepare for strike on Monday. The union representing workers at Chevron oil refinery in Richmond, California, has told its members to prepare for a strike shortly after 12 a.m., barring an agreement on a new labor contract. The United Steelworkers Union at the 240,000 barrel per day plant outside San Francisco said in a notice to members that it has canceled the contract extension, offered the company a safe and orderly shutdown, and was awaiting for a reply from Chevron. Chevron is committed to continue to negotiate towards an agreement, a spokesperson said on a statement on Sunday. However, San Ramon, the California-based company, is preparing to continue normal operations safely and reliably to provide energy products that are needed by consumers. Union officials were holding discussions on their next step. On Saturday, the union had advised machinists to go to the refinery and remove their personal tools before the contract extension expires. The United Steelworkers represents about 600 workers at the plant, the official said. Yeah, you can't play that on Twitch, I'm sure, because of DMCA. The union members have twice voted to reject contract proposals, but put forward by Chevron, the last vote completed on Saturday, was overwhelmingly against what the companies called last, best, and final offer. Okay. The refinery is a major supplier in the state of gasoline, jet fuel, and diesel fuel. California has some of the highest gasoline prices in the nation, with a gallon of unleaded regular selling for $5.847 on Sunday. Wait. They're not going to try to blame this on the union workers, are they? Wait, the implication here... Why... The implication being... Like, what? Okay. The implication being that gasoline prices are very high. Meaning that this could be an effect from the union workers, not Chevron themselves. This is a very implicit. They're implicitly saying that this is the that it's the union who's if you see your gas prices in California go for above that, and they're already one of the highest in the nation, make sure that you blame the union workers. The refinery is a major supplier in the state of gasoline, jet fuel, and diesel fuel. Chevron has repeatedly rejected any union. Chevron has repeatedly rejected any notion of negotiations, and that is why some of the highest gasoline prices. I mean, I could do that too, you know. It's kind of messed up. kind of messed up, not gonna lie. Not only that, Chevron has already said that they're going to replace these union workers. The plant isn't going to shut down. If the union keeps overwhelmingly rejecting what you're putting on the table, then what you continue to put on the table must be garbage.
Enough! We've heard enough! Our party is at a gridlock. We need to channel the Mighty One.
The Mighty One?
The Teflon God.
Sir, we haven't done that in years.
It's time.
No, this order, Reaganomics Seclor.
Oh my god. Oh man. That's a good meme.
We the chosen, the gatekeepers of the realm, channel the spirit of the Great One. Eat pluribus jelly bean man.
Jelly bean man.
Reagan has risen.
It's he.
Well,
Wow.
You guys look like you've seen a ghost. Sure took you long enough. Kick it. With so much drama in the RNC, it's kind of hard to be the face of the GOP.
That's funny. That's a good meme. I didn't even think they had a union. Yeah, it's good that they have a union, but they're trying to, first of all, they're trying to replace these folks, and the implicit final paragraph here is, like, basically saying that, look, I'm not saying, but I'm just saying, that these are why gasoline prices might rise. Yeah, Chevron would blame the union for rising gas prices in that area, or at least definitely try to pivot to that or appeal to the public using that. And this is kind of a tacit, like an implication here, because like, why name this? Why put this in an article that has nothing to do with gas prices? This article isn't about gas prices. This article is about Chevron continuing to put forth bad contracts, refusing to negotiate in good faith, apparently, if union workers continue to overwhelmingly reject this. So that's the article. Alright, shifting gears, folks, as we get closer to continuing our coverage on the IPCC report. Both of the planet's poles experience extreme heat, and Antarctica breaks records again. Earth's poles are undergoing simultaneous freakish extreme heat, with parts of Antarctica more than 70 degrees warmer than average and areas of the Arctic more than 50 degrees warmer than average. This is definitely, or it should be, incredibly alarming. Weather stations in Antarctica shattered records on Friday, As the region neared autumn, the 2-mile high 3,234 meters Concordia Station was about 10 degrees, which is about 70 degrees warmer than average, while the even higher Vostok Station hit a shade above 0 degrees, beating its all-time record of about 27 degrees, according to a tweet from extreme weather tracker Maximiliano Herrera. The coastal Terra Nova base was far from freezing at 44.6 degrees, which is 7 degrees Celsius. It caught officials at the National Snow and Ice Data Center in Boulder, Colorado by surprise because they were paying attention to the Arctic, where it's 50 degrees warmer than average, and areas around the North Pole were nearing or at the melting point, which is unusual for mid-March, said ice scientist Walt Meyer. Is it Meyer? Meyer. These are opposite seasons. You don't see the North and South Poles both melting at the same time. This is definitely an unusual occurrence. I suspect unusual is just going to be the new norm, right? It's pretty stunning. I've never seen anything like this in the Arctic, said University of Colorado ice scientist Ted Scambos, who returned recently from an expedition to the continent. Not a good sign when you see these sort of things happen. Yikes. Said University of Wisconsin meteorologist Matthew Lazara. Lazara monitors temperatures at East Antarctic's dome C2 and logged 14 degrees Friday, where the normal temperature is negative 45. Jesus Christ. That's a temperature you should see in January, not March. January is summer there. That's dramatic. Experts advise that it's not clear whether the record heat is indeed part of climate change. Both Lazara and Meyer said that what happened in Antarctica is probably just a random weather event and not a sign of climate change, but if it happens again or repeatedly, then it might be something to worry about and part of global warming. Antarctic warm spell was first reported by the Washington Post. The Antarctic continent as a whole on Friday was about 8.6 degrees warmer than baseline temperatures between 1979 and 2000, according to the University of Maine's climate reanalyzer based on the U.S. National Oceanic NOAA weather models. That's 8 degrees heating over an already warmed up average is unusual. Think of it as in the entire United States was 8 degrees hotter than normal. At the same time on Friday, the Arctic as a whole was 6 degrees warmer than the 1979 to 2000 average. By comparison, the world as a whole was only 1.1 degrees above the 1979 to 2000 average. Globally, the 1979 to 2000 average is about half a degree warmer than the 20th century average. What makes the Antarctic warming really weird is that the southern continent, except for its vulnerable peninsula, which is warming quickly and losing ice rapidly, has not been warming much especially when compared to the rest of the globe. Antarctica did set a record for the lowest summer sea ice. Records go back to 1979, with it shrinking to 741,000 square miles. In late February, the Snow and Ice Data Center reported. What likely happened was a big atmospheric river pumped in warm and moist air from the Pacific southward. And then the Antarctic, which has been warming 2 to 3 times faster than the rest of the globe, is considerably vulnerable to climate change. Warm Atlantic air was coming north of the coast. Yeah, unusual stuff, folks. Unusual stuff. So what it's telling me is that there's not enough data to pin it precisely to climate change. But the reality is, over time, we will see. I suspect that this is that the unusual weather patterns that created these atmospheric rivers are probably going to end up being linked to climate change. 3 Oregon towns to receive support to create more resilient power grids. Nice. And this is good. The city of Talent in the Rogue Valley is one of the 3 communities in Oregon that will get help from the Department of Energy on a new program to create more resilient power grids. Along with the Pendleton and Warm Springs, Talent was recently selected for Energy Storage and Social Equity Initiative, a new program for the DOE's Office of Electricity aimed at underserved and frontline communities. The Pacific Northwest National Lab will provide technical assistance to assess battery storage feasibility, locations for community solar projects, and do economic analysis, among other things. The nonprofit Rogue Climate applied for the initiative to prepare Talent for future energy challenges in the face of extreme weather, essentially trying to create a system that would be more resilient to potential power outages and things like incorporating battery storage. The Energy Storage for Social Equity Initiative, which supports underserved communities' use of energy storage as a means of increasing resilience and maximizing energy flexibility in the face of climate change. Reads a statement from the office of Senator Ron Wyden, Democrat of Oregon, who announced the participating Oregon towns. The exact details of Talent's energy projects are not defined, but Hogan says that this initiative will contribute to the town's clean energy plan and hopefully lay the groundwork for shovel-ready projects that could incorporate battery storage and community solar in the future. Battery storage enables us to ensure access of power even when it goes out, even for a limited amount of time, which can be really life-saving. As we've seen, extreme heat and smoke and fire can be really life-threatening. True. Talent, Pendleton, and Warm Springs are among 14 communities nationwide that are participating in the program. Hey, KTS Shine, thank you so much. Welcome. Doc Binwin, how's it going? Howdy, howdy, everybody. It's been a slow Monday morning. Well, that's good. That's good. That's how it should be. Slow Mondays is fine. I'm okay with that. Slow Mondays are good vibes, yeah? I want to see more communities participate in this and more funding for these type of programs, which should be promoted as energy independence. I thought was a big deal, especially nowadays. Our clear dependence on fossil fuel needs to change, and I think that the more localized and decentralized the energy system is, and the more reliant it is on renewables instead of something that, instead of something like fossil fuels, which could fail, is a much better way of achieving energy independence and grid reliance. And it's also, if you're into the perspective of how to keep our energy safe, or, for national security or whatnot, to have it so decentralized and renewable would provide that solution as well. It's cheaper too. And it creates new jobs. Wow. Play a random riff on the ukulele. Uh-oh. Okay, let's see if we can make that happen. One second, folks. I'm in traffic and I paid $6.39 per gallon. I need a Rift. Oh boy. Yikes. Alright, let's see if we can make something, yeah? I think I got it. Alright. Okay, that should work. Get my headphones out of the way. Nah, I don't like it, folks. Okay, that might be a little bit better. Okay, I finally made it, yeah? Whew, that took a second. Sorry about that. You know, it always takes me a couple of seconds because I actually don't play the ukulele as often, so this channel request kind of forces me to pick it up and do something with it, yeah? Hopefully that was okay. Took me a second to get my footing there, but we got something going towards the end. At least I think so. Satisfactory. Okay, that's all that matters. As long as I have satisfied the request, then I am A-okay with that. Thanks for the shout out, of course. That sounded pretty great, my dude. Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you. It always takes me a second to find my footing because I don't remember all the chords correctly, nor do I play it as often, so that's a good way of getting myself out there. And do you think that there should be a Fern Gully reboot? It depends on how they do it. As long as the core messaging of environmentalism is kept, I think that that would, if anything, is something that should be done, especially given the circumstances, right? Especially at such crossroads that we're at right now. A well-done Fern Gully reboot would be pretty cool, actually. A well-done Fern Gully reboot would be pretty awesome, I would say. One could even say it's poggers. Oh, I agree. It could be great for this generation, and like, it's also necessary as like a reminder, you know, of just how important it is to be environmentally conscious, and just how important it is to decouple ourselves from fossil fuels, and just how destructive humans have been. Because that's the core of the message there. That's the core message. So yeah, I would support it 1,000%. That would be awesome. True. Kids now would appreciate it more because they're so much smarter than we were. I agree. Robin Williams was so memorable. Yeah, that's true. I agree. I agree. I think kids now would appreciate it more because they're so much smarter than we were. True. They have, well, at least they have access to way more information than we did, you know? I grew up in the generation that was basically at the cusp of the internet popping off. Well, they're definitely more aware, I think, Alio. They're definitely more aware of what's going on than we were at our age. But that's just me. In Ferngully and Captain Planet, they always made the American guy the worst. Yeah, I mean, like, I didn't, as a kid, I didn't really even see that, nor did it hit me as a kid. I kind of just took that as humans bad. You know, humans bad, and they're incredibly destructive and relying on this huge monster that was oil. That's the takeaway that I got as a kid. I had no concept of that. I was just like, wow, humans suck. Jesus. But of course, that's the point, right? Because, like, especially now, I mean, we're the ones who shoulder a large part of that responsibility. Yeah, 5-year-olds know how to make purchases on iPads. True. True. We didn't have those kind of things. I certainly didn't. So TLDR, I think that these, initiatives are good, especially to achieve energy independence and to achieve a more resilient power grid. I think that this is moving in the right direction. This is a good plan. But lacking history of context should be forgotten. Climate change solutions should be applied from 1971 to 2029. Well, yeah, I mean, climate solutions can't wait to 2040. That's the problem. The climate solutions cannot wait till 2040. The American guy was always a tool with a tool name like Wheeler. Oh my god. That's funny. Lacking history and or context should not be forgotten. Gotcha. Well, yeah, I mean, obviously, it shouldn't. We talk about how we got here, consistently, I would say. Dakapollyon resubscribing with a tier 1 sub for 7 months. Wow. That is amazing. Thank you so much for the support. I appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you so much. Spread it forward. How's it going? Yeah, we talk about how we got here consistently, right? We talk about the history of how the fossil fuel industry has snuffed out information to the public, how the fossil fuel industry from the 70s and sometimes even before have astroturfed information into they willed information that is just not true or misleading into existence because they have the money and power to do so, to mislead the public, is what I'm trying to say. From the 70s and sometimes even before. Alright, folks, before we get into the IPCC report,
There's been a good little litmus test this past week. Okay, if you want to see if your favorite conservative icon is one of us, is really America First, is really a Christian, just see what they said about that pedophile couple that are trafficking kids. What's her name again?
Are you talking
Uh-oh.
about Dave Rubin?
Oh, Dave Rubin. That's it. Yeah, Dave Rubin.
Uh-oh. Yeah. Yep. We have something like 40K solar farm going up right outside our town. Nice. I was in a software seminar. Well, we've only played 7 seconds of this, but pretty sure the point is very clear where this is going.
There's been a good little litmus test this past week. Okay, if you want to see if your favorite conservative icon is one of us, is really America First, is really a Christian, just see what they said about that.
Is really a conservative, is really one of us if they're really Christian, and of course if they're really America First. You see, this is the danger behind like such an innocuous statement. Oh, America First. It just means that, you know, you want to put your country first. Yeah, that's not what it really means. That's not what it really means at all.
Pedophile couple that are trafficking kids. What's her name again?
Are you talking about Dave Rubin?
Oh, Dave Rubin. That's it. Yeah, Dave Rubin. Yeah.
Yeah.
Coming soon, baby one. Where did they steal this kid from?
Nobody.
That's two men.
Well,
two men are gay.
Yeah,
They can't have
they're
kids.
it's got
That's adopting children is not stealing children. First of all. Adopting children is not stealing children, nor, to my knowledge, is Dave Rubin and his husband pedophiles. This is just the trope that they continue to use. Please feel the largest eye roll. Yeah, and like, what's sad about this is like, Dave Rubin carries water for these people. That's the sad part.
got to pop out first, and then that's when they snatch them.
Oh, that's when they steal it.
Yeah, that's when they steal it. But that's like plotting a crime right there. So somebody should probably do something about that.
Sheriff Apile? Should we call Sheriff Apile? Someone needs to deal with this.
We should call somebody, because I have a kidnapping in process, you know.
Seriously, look, what is he crying for? Is he crying because he got away with it almost? Look at this. These two men who cannot reproduce,
they're men.
The only thing they can reproduce and create is more debauchery and AIDS. They can spread AIDS.
Oh yeah, of course. You know, the consistent trope of these like far right, like fundamentalists, because these guys look like they're in a program called Crosstalk. So these are like fundamentalist, far right nationalist people. Yeah, that's a call for violence. Explicitly, probably. Someone should quote do something about this. There's no more veils. That's not as hidden, really. Someone should quote do something. Yeah, like this is just beyond. Yeah, they say something so evil with a smile. Right. No, there's no. Hey Memo, how's it going? There's no hate quite like Christian love, right? There's no hate quite like Christian love. This is what the America First people talk about all the time. This is what they believe. Is he from the past? Yeah, he's from like he's just creating a trope. Stony Progressive. It's just a trope. Yeah, self-righteousness is a strong form of evil. Spring break week, nice. Nice. That's good to hear, my friend. No greater hate than Christian love. Look at that. It's just sad that, like, whether he realizes it or not, or maybe he's so wealthy that he's insulated from this, but whether he realizes or not, this is what the people Dave Rubin carries water for. Think of him. I mean, we saw that awkward exchange between him and Ben Shapiro, right? Where Ben Shapiro literally told him to his face, I'm not going to any gay anything. And these are the people that he carries water for, whether he realizes or not, or just doesn't care, or is so insulated because he's so wealthy. This is what they think of him, and it's disgusting and pathetic and sad. And this is considered the normal thought process for these America First people, these religious fundamentalist zealots. Just to remind folks of what type of conversations happen. Just to remind folks, you know. Conservatism. Not even once, chat. Not even once. Ben Shapiro declines Rubin's Skype calls because it's a gay invite. I mean, like, he explicitly said to his face in an interview where he would not show up to anything acknowledging Dave Rubin's marriage or anything revolving around acknowledging the fact that he is gay and married. And I believe he explicitly also followed up with, like, it's just like my religious freedom or something like that is what he said. Yeah.
An official
I'm trying to find where exactly it is.
I think right now.
Well, just this has nothing to do with government and whatever. So I can't. There's not a lot of.
No, there's not a lot of conflict here.
Yeah.
I mean, my governmental policy, because I'm basically a libertarian, is I don't care about that.
Yeah.
I mean, again, the government.
So what do we do to strengthen that group of people? So clearly we don't agree on.
It's getting there.
We don't quite agree on this thing, but I understand your rationale, and you're not trying to stop gay people from getting married.
I think right now, I think right now the next conflict is not going to come from the right. It's going to come from the left pushing the ball, meaning that it's going to come from the case in Oregon with this baker who doesn't want to service a same-sex wedding, doesn't want to actually have to cater it across the street to the bakery. Like the rule says, your business. I don't. This is really nefarious stuff. So this is where you're asking where the momentum comes from.
Yeah.
This is where the momentum, in a social sense. I don't think that homosexual as a religious person, I think homosexuality is a sin. I think lots of things are sins that people
Jesus
engage
Christ.
in. I think they should be free.
This is Ben Shapiro straight to Dave Rubin's face.
To engage in them. But as a religious person, that's not my thing. I don't think that gay marriage is a great, massively good thing for society.
Dave Rubin is married and gay.
On a social level, but on a governmental level, if you guys don't just get out of this business entirely, the left has no endpoint. Their only endpoint is using the government as a club against you. So now that they've got gay marriage, it will go to, we're going to stop accrediting schools that don't teach gay marriage or hire homosexual employees.
That's a slippery slope,
You've got
Ben.
Catholic churches say, I don't want to pay the health benefits of somebody's gay partner. That's a Catholic church. Why should it have to? Right? But the left
Jesus Christ.
would say, no, they have to, right?
Yeah.
You will be made to care. You're a bad person if you don't do this. And so what my argument to the right is...
This is where I'm a sensible liberal. And it's
right, exactly.
like-
So this,
Yeah.
but this, you'd actually get heavy argument from the not so sensible liberals, probably including all of the Democratic nominees. The fact is that what I'm saying is the best argument for the libertarian position on the right here is going to be a rearguard action. It's not going to be... It's better for straight people, and it's bad for gay marriage to get it out of that realm. I think that if you want to fight against gay marriage, do it on the social level with your church, teach your kids what you want to teach them.
What? Jesus Christ.
But when it comes to making this argument to conservatives, the real argument is if you don't take power out of the hands of government, if you don't take that ring away from Gollum and throw it into Mount Doom, then it will be used against you. The government is the ring.
So does this?
Okay, so no. Holy yikes, Ben. No.
My direct message at the top of the show, I was talking about just how stupid our election system is and how everything's down to sound bites and everything. Our debate is so nonsensical and all that. So everything you just laid out there is a much more clean and clear explanation, and where you actually are separating church and state and doing the intellectual rigor to make a sensible argument. Where if they talk for the little bit that they've talked about gay marriage, which I'm glad, because I don't think it should be talked about that much. Let it be, and that would be fine in my opinion.
What? Jesus.
But nobody,
I completely forgot how wild this interview was.
Rubio will talk about the family, but he's purely doing it from a religious perspective.
Well, there's an identity politics that's been created on the right in response to the identity politics of the left. So if we're going to be attacked as religious people, we have to talk as religious people. Right? So I have to go preach from a pulpit.
But you are. What?
And if I don't cite Genesis to talk about a man shall leave his parents and cling to his wife, if I don't cite that, then I haven't spoken the in code that shows that I care about the values of people like you. And this is the way the political game is played. So again, I sort of wish that Americans would see through the political game on all sides. Meaning, after 2 marriages and several adulterous affairs and bragging about having his experiences with married women, standing up there with the Bible and going, "This is an even better book than The Art of the Deal." It's like, if they're into caring, I'm not. I think that people who pretend to care about you are generally control your life. You have to do these things for.
Cap what happened, and then we'll.
Sure. Well, first of all, like Trump, now that you've complimented me, like Putin, now you're a good person. Now you're a good person.
See,
so
see what I did
we're on the
there?
same
I
side.
told you I read the rules.
It's all good. So, what happened in that debate is that Piers Morgan had basically controlled the only. And you saw Barack Obama give me your policy. The emotion is fake. Is otherwise he'd be crying every other press conference. I mean, he's talking about all sorts of crap that goes on in. Terrible.
Yeah.
Killed en masse. are complete. When it comes to people who legitimately cannot take care of themselves, I'm talking. The NRA is
The president.
you say he has the. Madison was wrong later. Supreme Court is people who are given the power to control everybody's life in the name of a document that most of them. The idea that and how they. Everyone.
Agree on that.
Yeah, I mean, which is why gay men have sex with more people than straight men, because women don't want to have sex with men as much as men want to have sex with men.
Okay.
You know, I will. I believe all human beings are capable of good. I believe all to them. Okay, well, those people, marriage, who criminal, they mean 200 years from now. If somebody picks up this interview in 200 years and starts to read into my perspective that I'm super pro homosexual behavior, I would be a little bit surprised, right? But that's essentially what happened in 1868.
Yeah.
He's taking a clause that was written by a bunch of people who were very much not in favor of even forget.
Jesus. Ben Shapiro's unironically an ANCAP? I think he's a theocratic. He's an authoritarian theocrat. The Tea Party really did shake up the Christian agenda in politics, yep. I'm trying to find that one specific section.
Forget homosexual marriage, who criminalized sodomy, right? And saying to them, okay, well, those people really meant, what they really meant here was pro same-sex marriage. If you want to make same-sex marriage legal, make it legal. You know, that's what you can do through the ballot box. This is the beauty of a republic. But you don't get to have 9 unelected judges who are these special moral people who've been dinged by the hand of God. I believe all human beings are capable of good. I believe all human beings are capable.
So wait. Now he's against the Supreme Court? When it doesn't go his way? Wasn't he making up a big brouhaha recently about like how there's like a massive conspiracy by the Democratic Party to expand the Supreme Court and overthrow democracy? And like, okay. Yeah, okay, buddy.
Of evil. I believe all human beings are selfish, and all of are capable of
And you
altruism.
threw a tantrum
I don't
like no
believe
other,
that there are
true.
9 perfect human beings who sit on the Supreme Court and rule us as a magical angelic.
You know what, Ben? You're right. Maybe we should. So would he be in favor of abolishing the Supreme Court then? Because that's not his current argument.
Oligarchy.
I think that's a pretty solid ending to this. What do you think?
Sounds good to me.
Yeah, I mean, well, I think what we did here was exactly what I want this to be, that we don't have to agree on everything, but I do sense a sort of new center coming together with people that are on the right.
A new center. Ah, yes, Ben Shapiro, known centrist.
Left, but you see what happened there. People that are on the left and on the right, that there's
He's
a way where you can be moral and it doesn't necessarily have anything to do with religion, or you can be moral and it has something to do with religion, but that's not how you want to be governed. And I think that's going to be my takeaway from this.
No, I think that's exactly right. I mean, as I say to people who disagree with me, the beauty of the country is that you don't have to care what I think. The minute you bring the government into saying that I have to care what you think, then we're at odds.
Yeah.
So as long as the government's out of it, we can have these discussions all day long.
Why gay marriage should exist. And I think if Rand Paul had hit that point harder,
next step is going to be going to religious people and telling them they have to engage with same-sex weddings. So as a religious person, this is problematic to me. I want a society in which I can do what I want and I don't have to care what you think, and you can do what you want and you don't have to care what I think.
Right.
That doesn't mean you get to come into my synagogue and get married. It also doesn't mean that I have to go to your gay wedding.
Right, and
right?
That's an interesting place to have the discussion, because I would argue for gay marriage for the exact reasons. I don't want the government involved in all of these things.
I think
and that's
this
exactly
is it. It's
why
at the
gay
beginning.
marriage should exist. And I think if Rand Paul had hit that point harder, it would have made a sensible libertarian argument for limited government. And you know what? You want to marry a dude? Go ahead. And you want to smoke weed? Go ahead.
You're right. Well, I tend to agree. Both of those things I agree with. And by the way, I find people who smoke weed unbelievably irritating, but that's not my business.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, this is the beauty of America is you don't have to give a crap what I think.
We usually end the show by taking a bong hit.
Oh yeah, well. It's going to be awkward then.
Okay.
But as far as the secondary argument about let's take the predicate that government is now involved in marriage.
Yeah.
Should government subsidize gay marriage and straight marriage the same way? My answer is no, because the only purpose for the government getting involved in marriage is the procreation of the next generation and the raising of that generation.
What?
And it's my belief that a man and a woman do a better job of raising a child and producing children, obviously biologically.
That's just not true. That's actually what?
2 men or 2 women.
But isn't the child part of it sort of secondary? I mean, there are plenty of people that get married, gay couples and straight couples that don't have kids.
This is societal
marriage
change.
in and of itself isn't just about.
But at a governmental level, I don't care about those people. Or meaning, like, I care. I'm happy that they're happy, but I don't really care what they do. Like, it doesn't. The government theoretically has an interest in the production of the next generation.
Right.
Right. That's
holy yikes. This is insane. I miss not thinking about this douche nozzle. Yeah, but unfortunately, these people kind of brought it back. So I'm trying to find that one specific section.
It's the only interest in marriage. So, in fact, you could even make a case that the government ought to be giving, basically tax benefits for having kids, and no benefit for marriage.
Damn. Huh, that's kind of weird. I remember a certain, I remember a certain era in like the 1920s. In like the 1920s, I think it was like, I think it was like German. I think it was like German around the 1920s, 1930s. Huh. Interesting. So after Burmese, I started looking at libertarianism. While liberal, there are some aspects of political beliefs that are conservative. I see how people get sucked into this party. True. Oh, he invites him at the end? What? I didn't see that.
Right, but the truth is, the reason that this was happened in 1868. Same-sex marriage legal, make it legal. That's what you can do through the ballot box. This is the beauty of oligarchy.
I think that's a pretty solid ending to this. What do you think?
Sounds good to me.
Yeah, I mean, well, I think what we did here was exactly what I want this to be, that we don't have to agree on everything, but I do sense a sort of new center coming together with people that are on the right. That was my left, but you see what happened there? People that are on the left and on the right, that there's a way where you can be moral and it doesn't necessarily have anything to do with religion, or you can be moral and it has something to do with religion, but that's not how you want to be governed. And I think that's going to be my takeaway from this.
No, I think that's exactly right. I mean, as I say to people who disagree with me, the beauty of the country is that you don't have to care what I think. The minute you bring the government into saying that I have to care what you think, then we're at odds.
Yeah.
So as long as the government's out of it, we can have these discussions all day long, and it's just good fun.
It's not
the minute
here.
you bring the gun to the party, you're the fascist.
So the gay marriage thing. Let's talk gay marriage.
Sure.
You're not big on gay marriage.
No, I'm not on a social level. I think the government ought to be completely out of the business of marriage. I think the government sucks at everything. Is my short message for today. The government is terrible at everything. If the government's goal was to forward traditional marriage, it utterly failed. Obviously, as proved.
But you don't mind it being out of the business of traditional marriage at all.
No,
right?
I think the government should be out of all marriage. I
This
think
is
the government
from
stinks
6
at this.
years ago.
Now I will say that. Do I think that? I think the idea of the government subsidizing gay marriage is silly, because I don't think that there's societal benefit to gay marriage. If you're going to make the
Jesus
argument
Christ.
that government should be involved in marriage at all,
Yeah.
which is not even an argument with which I agree at this point, and
But
I'll
it's
tell
the
you
way
why.
it's the way it is right now.
Right.
So let's just go from that.
Okay. So
that base.
So before I get there,
Yeah.
one quick point. The reason I want the government out of the business of marriage is because now that the government has enshrined gay marriage, the next step is going to be going to religious people and telling them they.
Yeah, okay. I don't see it, so if somebody could find that clip, send it to me. But I think we get the point. I took way too much time trying to find out that point, but I don't know. It's so easy to get into the Libertarian Party. I believe they suck in non-boomer generation that also raised conservative. Yeah, Ben is correct on one thing. The government sucks at everything. I don't know. Maybe. Oh, maybe Ruben scrubbed it out of embarrassment, but the left remembers. Yeah, I'm telling you, I'm not like making this up. I know I've heard it before. Unless it was another interview. My whole point and why I attempted to waste so much time trying to bring that up is because Dave Rubin carries water for these people. And maybe, like I said earlier, maybe it's because he is wealthy, he's insulated from it, but that's what people think of him. That's what people think of him. That's what people that call themselves America First, that call themselves Christian conservatives, that call themselves true conservatives, that's what these people think. These radical, fundamental, religious people just don't want people like him to exist. They don't consider people like Dave Rubin as people. And it's just like, wow. Sad. Michael Brooks covered it. Yes, I knew I saw it somewhere. Right? I knew it. I knew that I didn't just pull that out of nowhere. Yeah, if you can find it. Just send it to me via whispers. Folks, before we get into it, we do have to talk about today's sponsor, HelloFresh, which was brought to us by Stream Elements. I appreciate the opportunity for this month's sponsor. As you guys probably just saw the chat move, which reminded me, we are sponsored this month by HelloFresh. Use code POGS2534 to get up to 16 free meals, 3 surprise gifts across 6 HelloFresh boxes, plus free shipping on your first box. Also, we've had numerous experience with HelloFresh during this pandemic, so it has been a positive experience. That's the reason why I even enrolled in that. It's convenient, not too much different in terms of price, and it gets delivered right to your door. There are pescatarian and veggie options. Easy to follow recipes, and the cool part is, even if you don't want to continue the service, you get to keep all the recipes, so just do that. That's what we did. We've got a whole packet full of recipes that we now have that are easy to make. Send it to me via whispers, KTS Shine. HelloFresh offers so many recipes to choose from each week to help break out your recipe rut. Family-friendly, fit, wholesome, pescatarian, and veggie options as well. Please consider supporting HelloFresh as they are supporting the stream this month. Thank you. Yeah, send it to me via whispers. Also, exclamation HelloFresh. We'll bring the link. It's also in the channel section.
This 8-pound solar gadget is giving easy, portable power to thousands of people.
Issues are
now I feel bad.
He would have done it for you, inviting all the
I should feel bad, David.
if we were having an anniversary party, would you come? If I was inviting all the crew
Oh, this
that we
is
all know.
wait, this is a different interview. Oh man, that's me who dropped the ball. This is a different interview.
And we were just an anniversary party. We're just having a party, and I'll even throw in some kosher food for you to make sure you don't have to bring your own.
You know, honestly, I'd have to think about it. I'd have to think about it in the same way.
So that's interesting to me.
Yeah,
'cause
That's interesting.
to me. All right, so it seemed a little. Our interpretation was that it wasn't just interesting to Dave; it was in fact downright hurtful.
going to move, and
So.
there are certain issues where the right is not going to move, and frankly, I don't think the right should move. This is one of those, the only issues.
Abortion.
But
Can I make a bold prediction?
Sure.
30 years from now, we're going to be sitting here doing this, hopefully in a bigger garage. Maybe.
In Texas,
and
probably.
And
yeah.
you may well have moved me on the abortion issue, and I think I may have moved you on coming to an anniversary party. What do you think?
I think it's a possibility. I mean, I'd have to think about that again. The issue, as you know, not to get back into well-trod territory. I think it would be unlikely that you'd move me, but I can never rule out the possibility of being moved on anything.
Yeah. There we go. That's what I was looking for.
Obviously, and again, this comes back down to
Not obviously. I mean, you literally are a professional propagandist for a certain set of politics. But anyways, go ahead.
I think it would be unlikely that you'd move me, but I can never rule out the possibility of being moved on anything, obviously. And again, this comes back down to,
brand.
The difference between approving of activity and approving of human beings. If you invited me to a party on Friday night, I also wouldn't go, right? I mean, it's just not something I do.
So definitely not a Shabbat anniversary.
A Shabbat
party.
anniversary, I think, probably is out, yeah.
A Sunday afternoon.
A Sunday afternoon gay-ish anniversary, or maybe just how about just have like a freaking barbecue, dude? Like, does everything have to?
What?
No, but the party's not going to be gay.
Yeah, like he assumed that, like, what? So that's a weird thought process there, Benny.
It's just, we'll have a barbecue.
Okay,
It'll just be a barbecue. Nothing gay is going to happen there.
When I wasn't worried it was going to turn into an orgy back there or something.
No
Like I
orgies.
wasn't worried you were going to bring out the village people or
You know
something.
that
That's-
people have parties just the same.
Oh my god. Okay. I think we get the point. I think we get the point. It's the same point these people are making. That's it. Yeah, he really is. He's such a horrible human being. Anyways. We continue our journey through the IPCC report. Working Group 2. I think he needs a lot more than just constipation medicine, I can tell you that. This section identifies future impacts and risks under different degrees of climate change. As a result, over 130 key risks have been found across regions and sectors. They're integrated as 8 overarching risks called I think we went over this. Risks are projected to become more severe with increased warming and ecological or societal conditions of high exposure and vulnerability. Yes, we did go through this. Yes, we went through this as well. Yes, we went over ecosystem integrity is threatened by positive feedback between direct human impacts, land use change, pollution, overexploitation. Climate change impacts on marine ecosystems are projected to lead to profound changes and irreversible losses in many regions with negative consequences for human ways of life, economy, and cultural identity. We went over that. Climate change will increasingly add pressure on terrestrial food production systems since every increment of warming. We went over that. It's interesting because Ben assumed it was a gay orgy, but also said he wouldn't rule that in the future. Wait, that's a good point. But like, how did his mind go to that first of all? And like, as if like orgies can't happen with like people who are also straight. It could be multiple. Like, I don't get it. Why do they, like, I don't know. Ben who? Yeah, he's nobody. Don't even worry about it. Honkataki, how's it going? What are y'all talking about? The end of the world. Climate change will significantly alter aquatic food provisioning services with direct impacts on food insecure people. High confidence. I think this is where we're at. Climate change will increasingly add significant pressure regionally, different impacts on all components of food systems, undermining all dimensions of food security. I think that this is where more or less we're at. Climate change will increasingly add significant pressure and regionally different impacts on all components of food systems, undermining all dimensions of food security. High confidence. Extreme weather events will increase risk of food security via spikes in food prices, reduce food diversity, and reduced income for agriculture and fishery livelihoods. High confidence. Preventing from achieving the UN SDG zero hunger by 2030 in regions with limited adaptive capacities, including Africa, small island states in South Asia. High confidence. With 2 degrees Celsius with warming, climate-related changes in food availability and diet quality are estimated to increase nutrition-related diseases and the number of undernourished people by 2050, affecting tens under low vulnerability and low warming to hundreds of millions of people under high vulnerability and high warming, i.e. the third scenario of 6.0, particularly among low-income households in low and middle-income countries in sub-Saharan Africa, South Asia, and Central America. High confidence. Example, between 8 million under SSP1 6.0 up to 80 million people under SSP3. At 3 degrees Celsius or higher, global warming levels, adverse impacts on all food sectors will become prevalent, further stressing food availability. High confidence, agriculture, labor productivity, and food access. Medium confidence. Regional disparity and risks to food security will grow at these higher warming levels, increasing poverty traps, particularly in regions characterized by a high level of human vulnerability. High confidence. Climate change is projected to increase malnutrition through reduced nutritional quality, access to balanced food, and inequality. High confidence. Can't wait for America to starve, honestly. That's not going to happen for quite a while. But across the board, climate change is going to create massive food inequality. And besides, like, you know, we kind of live here, so no one deserves to starve. Increase CO2 concentrations, promote crop growth and yield, but reduce the density of important nutrients in some crops. High confidence with projected levels of nutrient deficiency. High confidence in regions with low access to diverse food. Medium confidence, marine-dependent communities, including indigenous people and local peoples, will be at increased risk of malnutrition due to losing seafood source nutrients. Medium confidence. Climate change will further increase pressures on those terrestrial ecosystem services which support global food production systems. High confidence. Climate change will reduce the effectiveness of pollination as species are lost from certain areas, or the coordination of pollinator activity and flower receptiveness is disrupted in some regions. High confidence. Greenhouse gases will negatively impact air, soil, and water quality, exacerbating direct climatic impacts on yields. High confidence. Hey, somebody, hit that 1 sub for HelloFresh. I appreciate that. Keep it going, folks. Thank you. I just saw that. Thank you. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Climate change will compromise food safety through multiple pathways. High confidence. Higher temperatures and humidity will expand the risk of aflatoxin contamination to higher latitude regions. High confidence. More frequent and intense flood events and increased melting of snow and ice will increase food contamination. High confidence. Aquatic food safety will decrease through increased detrimental impacts from harmful algal blooms. Yes, this is seen in South Florida too. and human exposure to elevated bioaccumulation of persistent organic pollutants and methylmercury. That's in our fish. Low to medium confidence. These negative food safety impacts will be greater without adaptation and fall disproportionately on lower income countries and communities with higher consumption of seafood, including coastal indigenous communities. Medium confidence. Yeah. And these are regional highlights that the impacts to all the stuff that we've been talking about, from food production to biodiversity to even infectious diseases. And especially regional key risks are notated based on regions, right? Burning Ember diagrams of global, sectoral, and regional risks, assessments, and examples of other regional key risks, impacts, and risks are shown shown in relation to global mean surface temperatures relative to pre-industrial 1850 to 1900. Reasons for concern also shown relative to present day 1995 to 2014. The methods and assessment of risk transitions is described in the report. Reasons for concern presents the consensus values of transition range and median estimates in terms of global warming levels by risk level for each of the 5 RFC reasons for concern embers. For details on assessment of risk, see this table up here, SMTS, a range of global warming levels for each risk transition used to make this figure. Australia and New Zealand. This assessment is based on, okay, so they're just describing this table. Gotcha. These assessments are based on available literature and expert judgment summarized in this table. More details on each burning ember are provided in sections here. This is probably referencing to the actual full complete report, which is massive, not the technical summary. The supporting literature and methods are provided. Yeah, I assume that this is the full thing. Also, folks, good morning. Just popped in for a few minutes while on break. Thank you. I appreciate that, Maple Leaf Dragon. If you guys want to check out the full technical summary. Water-related risks are projected to increase with every increment in global warming. An increasing warming level and impacts will be felt disproportionately by vulnerable people in regions with high exposure and vulnerability, high confidence. About 800 million to 3 billion people at 2 degrees Celsius and about 4 billion at 4 degrees Celsius warming are projected to experience different levels of water scarcity, medium confidence, leading to increased water insecurity. At 4 degrees, yeah, this should be massively alarming, by the way. The fact that there's going to be a large set of the population to the tune of billions that are going to experience increased water security. That should be that should be a massive massive red flags right there. The moment you see problems when it comes to food and water insecurity, those are easily factors, biggest factors when it comes to potentially paving the path for conflicts, right? Yes, the water wars near the equator. That's an example. Leading up to increased water insecurity. At 4 degrees Celsius, global warming by the end of the century, approximately 10% of the global land area is projected to face simultaneously increasing high extreme stream flow and decreased low extreme stream flow, affecting over 2.1 billion people. Globally, the greatest risk to attaining global sustainability goals come from the risk to water security. Right. Projected cryosphere changes will negatively impact water security and livelihoods, with higher severity of risk at higher levels of global warming, high confidence, glacier mass loss, permafrost thaw and decline in snow cover are projected to continue beyond the 21st century. High confidence, many low elevation and small glaciers around the world will lose most of their total mass at 1.5 degrees Celsius warming. Glaciers are likely to disappear by nearly 50% in high mountain Asia and about 70% in Central and Western Asia by the end of the 21st century under the medium warming scenario. Jesus Christ. Glacier Lake outburst floods. A flood will threaten securities of the local and downstream communities in high mountain Asia. High confidence by 2100. Annual runoff in 1/3 of the 56 large-scale glacier catchments are projected to decline over 10%, with most significant reductions in Central Asia and the Andes. Medium confidence. Cryosphere-related changes in floods, landslides, and water availability have potential to leave severe consequences for people, infrastructure, and economy in most mountain regions. High confidence. Yeah. All right, we're making great progress here, folks. We're at page 30, so we'll continue this tomorrow. Yeah, just grow gills if you if you live in Florida. True. Just grow gills. All right, folks. Unfortunately, that is all the time I have today. Thank you so much for joining. Thank you, Spread It Forward. I appreciate it. Thank you so much for all the support. You guys have been absolutely awesome. I appreciate all the support. I appreciate you guys being here. Thank you so much for the biddies. Thank you so much for the subscriptions, and thank you so much for supporting the sponsor. Oops, this way. There. The sponsor here. I appreciate that. Exclamation mark HelloFresh. If you guys want to check that out, please do so. It does help the channel. And as always, please spread the word far and wide that this is the chillest place to be for news and politics Monday through Thursday, 9 a.m. Eastern Time. Join us for Saturday Catterdays, noon Eastern Time. I appreciate you guys. Please stay safe. Please take care of each other. I love y'all, and I hope to see you guys in the next one. See ya. Alright, folks, we're heading out in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. See ya.